Hi everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Tried It podcast, where we discuss all things from millennial struggles to relationships and love and everything in between. I'm Jade.
I'm Maya.
And I'm Kedeisha.
And this episode we are joined by the one and the only Nikita. Hello.
Hi.
Thank you so much for coming on.
No problem.
Would you like us to call you Nikita?
Mm-hmm. Or Nikki.
Nikki,
Cool.
okay.
Yeah. I think you call me. Yeah, I think when I spoke to you, like, hey, it's Nikki. So I was like, all right, cool. Okay.
How are you today?
Yeah.
I'm okay. I was a bit ill, but
Yeah,
I'm
powered
here.
through. Thank
You made it happen.
Yeah.
I know. It was getting a bit touchy there because you were ill and then you were like, oh, the travel, and then it was raining and I was thinking, but then it came through. So it was all good.
Man.
I love it when that happens.
Yeah. So we thought this is like a follow-on episode, isn't it, from our last one that we did on transgender everything. I feel like we talked about our own ignorances and what we didn't know and like the questions that we had. But obviously, what better way to discuss all than to have someone on who is actually transgender themselves. We have ignorances ourselves. So we feel like this is a good time that we ask questions and stuff. And if we ever say anything wrong, like, obviously tell us and like let us know, because we want to learn.
And we want our listeners to learn as well.
We're all just here trying to know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so thank you so much for coming on.
So I just want to kick off by saying thank you, like we said, and asking when you knew you weren't happy with your assigned gender.
When did I know? I guess it's different for each person. Like, it can vary, but with me, it was not instilled, but I knew from when I was a kid. Like from when I was tiny. Like one of my mum, before she passed, she said her favorite thing to do was like get dressed up and put makeup on and like dance around the house. And but then after I kind of hit it. So I guess it varies, but from when I was young, but it could hit someone when they're older, when they're younger.
Yeah. Do you think your mum like knew instinctually from when you were young? Oh, I love hearing about that. I love hearing that.
How did your family take it when you finally?
And my mum...
Wait, what's your background, if you don't mind?
Mixed English, Russian, Denmark, Grenada, Barbados.
Oh, wow.
Whoa. Yeah.
That is a mix.
Melting pot for real.
Yeah, it's a crock pot for sure. Sorry, say that again.
Yeah, so what was your reaction? So obviously I think like, you know, when you are
my mum actually took beatings for me from my dad, who thought he could beat it out of me. So it was fun. I don't remember those dark times. Then because obviously the world I was growing up in, I knew that it was not for people that were different, people that were against the grain, I suppose. It was like college, I suppose, after I saw my mom again for like 10 years. It's a whole dark story. But I saw her for the first time, and then that kind of triggered it. I was already on the side, on
the threshold.
Yeah, I guess.
What's
like
cusp?
The cusp. No, but the word I'm looking for is, you know, in your fluid, where you can play like either side of the coin.
Pansexual?
No, with your luck.
Oh.
Unisex.
Ambiguous.
No.
Oh my God.
You're not the people to ask.
If this was Hangman, we'd be dead.
Oh no. All your chances.
But you were that thing you were saying where you couldn't really tell what gender you were.
Yeah, and you can do either.
Yeah.
But, okay. What was the question?
So how did it go? You told us that like it was really bad.
It was difficult. My family for many years, they didn't accept, and they like some called me just by N or shit. It took struggle and it took a long time. Really hot.
Oh, wait, should we put the air conditioning on? Shall I see?
Did you just basically say like, Mum, Dad, I don't feel like...
I was adopted, so it was more like hi, adoptive parent. And she goes, you have 2 weeks to, you know, go.
Oh,
what?
Just because you came out and said...
Yeah, I'd been different for a time. She told me I couldn't wear dresses in the house.
What age was this?
She told me I had to have more male friends, quite young, 16, 17.
Do you feel like their cultural background kind of played like a role in that?
Yes and no. I was always my grandma's favourite, and she's from Barbados, so she likes me. I love it. Shout out to grandma.
Oh, got grams?
yeah, that grandma. My biological grandma is a different story.
Oh, okay.
I guess because I just remind her of my mum a lot.
Yeah.
Question again. Sometimes I go off on tangents.
Oh, you've answered it. You basically just said like, what was it like when you come out to your family?
Slowly and surely it took. My granddad accepted me. My aunt accepted me. They came after I was in the hospital and stuff. But yeah, no, it's still to this day, it's still a fight. It feels like every time there's a fight, like every family party, I have to put on my war paint and my best clothes and look as good as I can't eat.
You can. Do you want to? I'll get them for you. Yeah, there you go.
At what age did you kind of start to like accept and like really try and start to be?
17.
Okay, how did you start with it?
My friend, she had like estrogen patches, which is when you're, I don't know, trying to not get pregnant or something. I don't know. But they've got estrogen. Right. Yeah, I slapped that on and I was like, I'm not doing this. Guys, I don't like puberty. So let's yeah, it never hit me. It didn't ever hit me like properly, which is why I feel different-ish. But yeah.
So you're like 17 when it started to really.
Yeah.
Did you go to the doctors and do like hormones and stuff?
Yeah, you have to go through this whole process of talking to the GIC, which has huge waiting lines, and they really don't.
Man.
Yeah,
we looked into this when we did our episode. We found out that like you have to have proof that you're living as the gender that you want to be
for a required or specified amount of time that you've seen psychiatrists and doctors. And
that was crazy. So was that a hard thing to go through?
Yeah, like I remember being told I'd have to wait maybe 6 to 8 months for surgery, and I cried.
Oh yeah.
My friends consoled me, so it's difficult.
Yeah, that's really tough.
Do you have the same childhood friends?
Oh, that's really nice. How did they take it?
Shout out to Amy. Ever since, she supported me ever since. Like everyone was kind of like, we should have known.
So none of your friends sort of seen it coming?
No, some did, because my friend Amy used to say she had a boy's brain in a girl's body, and I had a girl's brain in a boy's body. But I never felt, you know how they always say, oh, you're just born in the wrong body. I never felt that. I felt like my body was right, but there was just one part that was wrong.
Okay,
so
interesting.
I know, but it's not the same. This is what I mean. It's just like you beautiful women. We are all varied. We all have. We're all different. Like some might not, some might.
Yeah.
100% understand. Was anybody, when you first started like talking about it, when telling people and stuff, did anybody start being like, bringing up sexuality and being like, oh, maybe you're just gay or maybe you're just...
Yeah, I had someone in church, like from my old primary school that I saw, they were like, do you really want this? And I was like, yeah, I kind of lost my family for this.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think that's the biggest test.
Yeah, they ask you, is this what you really want? Blah, blah, blah. And you're like, pretty sure. It's not something that I choose for myself had I had the choice, you know?
It's not been an easy journey. So
no,
it's not
I
like
always
a quick
used to
decision,
wish that I could be normal until I realized that my life was always extraordinary from the moment even before I was born. So I should just accept that and be extraordinary.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
Definitely. Yeah.
It's like when you get afraid of people, like, I don't know, looking at you on the street, and then you're like, hold on, may as well give them something good to look at. Stare. Like, if you're going to stare, may as well give you something grand to look at. Yeah.
How do you feel about like public perception of you and stuff?
I still struggle even to this day, but so does everyone. You have to realize that everyone has insecurities. Sometimes you believe that it's just linked to me being trans, but no, my anxiety, my depression, the fact that I stayed inside for 2 years, there's other people just like that will stay inside or have their anxieties and not afraid to leave, and they're not trans. Like there are so many issues that we all face that we don't realize that we all suffer through.
Do you feel like there's enough, obviously it's probably a stupid question because I don't think there is, but as a trans person, do you think there's enough awareness and education about it? Do you think there should be education about it?
There is more, like the amazing show Pose, which if you don't have much knowledge, you should watch because it will give you a lot more understanding. But the fact that that's only just come out like maybe a couple of years ago and it's actually using trans people portrayed as trans actresses playing trans characters, not just.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's.
And it also is educating everyone.
Yeah.
But like it's 2019, so we should have had like I didn't have this in my childhood, which was why it was so hard.
Yeah.
As I was growing up, it was always if you're different, you're hated. Even you walk through those things. You know, in England, you walk through the batty man's legs. It's just a sign, like exactly things like that. Like everything is so anti-gay.
But do you know what? I purposely used to go through it just because I'm not superstitious at all.
Yeah.
Because they tried to say it was a superstition, like as well. Don't walk over 3 drains. Don't walk under scaffolding type thing. But I'm like, let it fall on me. I'm gonna claim the hell out of this shit.
Do you think that like if it was spoken about more in school, that would
do you
be
think
good?
that would have changed
if it
your
was
experience?
normalized, well, not normalized, but like, there's another show that I watched called She-Ra and the Princesses of Power, which just normalized like just people being themselves. Like there was a whole princess ball where a princess brought another princess to the ball, and one was dressed in a suit, and the other one. And in the show, there was nothing, no criticism, no judgment. It was just normalized, and that's what I'd like to see, because with children, they don't see fear, they don't see hate until the parent goes, don't play with that black
hate
kid.
is taught. That's what
or
they
don't
say.
do this, or you know what I mean? Like I think it's not within
innate,
them. It's
yeah.
instilled. It's learned. It's taught by like the fear or the hatred is taught by the parent saying, don't do this or don't play
Do you
with
think
them.
like it would have given you a better understanding of like what you're going through if you had like seen or like heard about what being trans is all about when you were younger?
Yeah,
Do you think it would have
I would
made you feel better?
I would have made decisions probably a lot earlier, knowing that there was help. But then it's kind of like you find out and you're like, oh my God, now I'm cursed. Like,
How old are you now, if you don't mind me asking?
24, 25. No, but me and my friends say 21, so 21.
Very young.
It was your birthday recently, wasn't it?
21, yeah. Great 21st. I had all my friends round and we celebrated.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because that was something that we were speaking about on our episode about like, you know, speaking about it in school, because we know it's like a big thing, and you know, you have to take into account other children's parents' backgrounds and how that might be taken. So if you're speaking about such a, I don't know, like different topic, is that gonna corrupt the minds? Is the
See,
argument.
this is what they think, but children, they shouldn't be allowed. Like I've got friends that have said children shouldn't be allowed to choose from that age. But with kids, kids, they kind of know what they want and what they don't want. They point out, like, if they see someone in the street, they go, that's a boy, or, that's pink, or this and that. But if it's something like with me, it was something that I knew, and it wasn't just a phase. It was something inside. But if I would have had the choice, I would have made the choice to not go through puberty until it was my choice to decide. And I think everyone should have that right if they want to. Because those are irreversible changes, I suppose.
So had you like started this change before puberty, where would you be now?
With more of a better modelling career than I do have. But
really, that's so crazy to think of, like how it would actually affect. I guess I didn't think of that question.
Yeah,
it would change your body. How would it have changed your body? Was it just the way that your bones grow and stuff?
When you hit puberty, your muscles start to change. Like for women, you'll get more fat, lumps in your boobs.
Yeah,
it still hurt. Your skin gets softer. Your hairs turn more like blondish, and boys, they get like an Adam's apple. Their voices get deeper, their balls drop. I'm kind of different because a lot of those things didn't happen.
So in a way, you stepped in your own puberty and like changed it.
Yeah, I did. Well, I saw it happening and went, no, this is not a bit of me. Let's stop this right now and just back it up and have some time. And then, because I remember the tipping point was kind of the decision to go on hormones, because I was too poor to be able to afford like saving any kind of sperm or eggs. So I had a friend say that one friend someone that's going to donate eggs and someone that would be a surrogate. And that was kind of like, okay, yeah, because I knew that the hormones is a big choice. Like everyone says to trans people, do you really want this? Are you sure? Like, of course I'm sure. Once I start the pills, I can't have kids. Once I have the surgery, you know what I mean? Like these are irreversible. These are
life-changing.
We don't just go through a phase and say, yeah, I want to be trans. Like no one. I think even though it's perceived as that glamorized. It really is. Media, it's been glamorized, but it's not. It's you wouldn't kind of wish it on your worst enemy. It's
100%.
It's depression. It's anxiety. It's constantly like my friend who does modeling as well. But I could connect to her because we're both like, oh, gender dysphoria. When you went to Paris, like you had bulimia or anorexia, and I can empathize with that because what I've gone through. So I can relate to other people's issues through me being trans, I suppose. I'm good, but I'm bad. I'm an okay advocate, but I'm not the best because...
But I think that's probably another one of our own ignorances, just assuming because you're trans, you know every single trans person out there that's saying anything worth listening to say. Because me as a... Black woman, I don't know every single Black woman.
Yeah.
Me as a 25-year-old, I don't know every single 25-year-old.
Oh, you're gay. I have a gay friend who you know. Like, I'm not going to love them because they're this. I'm going to love them because of who they are. Not the fact that we share one common denominator doesn't even mean I might like them. Like,
I was thinking that's what I was going to say. So if you could put one message out there, for example, for anyone who's struggling with gender dysphoria or stuff like that, would you maybe, if you could speak to any powerful people, say that like it could, if you do feel like, you know, there's someone in your life that they're not happy in the gender that they're in and they are younger, take on what they're saying, because even though they're young, it doesn't mean they don't know what they're talking about. And like, you know, if you could intercept the whole puberty period or transition from kid to adult or kid to teenager, then that stops them from going through a lot worse.
A friend was saying that really young kids shouldn't have the choice to be influenced. But I feel like we know kids go through phases. And in life, you don't know what you like or dislike till you try it. So there's no point in going, don't play with this thing, don't play with that child because they'll make you gay. Your kid might try and play with that toy and find out he doesn't like Barbies or he doesn't like cars or well, she doesn't like action men. You know? Like... you've got to let them try these things to find out. I'm just saying my kid is going to be like this because like I've known parents and stuff that have said that their boys have played with Barbies and dressed up and grown up straight as hell. It's within them, like they will know and they will carry on. And if it's something that they want and they know, they will fight for it. But it's just about giving them the knowledge and supporting them and telling them that it's like you are allowed to exist. You're beautiful. You're perfect. You've got a place in this world, and you're protected. Like you don't have to fear leaving your house. But it's not even just trans people. It's anyone that has body dysmorphia, like people that suffer from anorexia, bulimia, or weight gain or weight loss.
That was what I was going to say. So I was ages ago looking into like body dysmorphia and stuff because obviously being a PT, I have to take on a lot of people's problems with how they view their body because of what society's told them their body should be like. And it was like phenomenal the amount of research that says that it's a thing only recently because of how the world has changed now and there's more technology, so people want to talk about it
and compare ourselves, get lost in Instagram.
But this was something that was like having anorexia and stuff actually happened in the Bible. Like that was happening then.
Oh, wow.
But it was just because it's a different environment, nobody was talking about it in the same way. But mental health, which is what bulimia or anorexia or body dysmorphia is, has existed forever. But it's just come out in a different way now.
Yeah.
So in terms of like, you know,
or maybe there's a lot of triggering things, more triggering.
Or just you feel safer. Exactly.
Yeah.
You feel safer to say it because you can go somewhere and do that. And that leads to your point, what you were saying about like, if you'd seen it in school, you would have felt like you can come out earlier with it.
Yeah. Like if it had been normalized and not hated on, or like even the gym teachers used to like bully the boys. Oh, you're playing footsie, you must be gay. Like, you know what I mean? Like kids, when you see that kind of thing growing up, you're like, okay,
that means
the
I've got to
outside
stay
world.
quiet.
Yeah, I've got to stay quiet. I've got to stay hidden. Like even that's what I was saying. I'm bad at being me because I pass, which is a huge thing with us trans people. Like I kind of try and blend in and just go about my business, which is bad. And then if like someone else was to get clocked in a room, it's happened like at modeling stuff. I'll be quiet because it's not me that the attention is thrown on, or like the shining. Yeah, I guess I'm trying to be more open, but it's difficult.
For sure. Course, yeah. However, I know that when we were talking about the trans episode last time, it was a lot of trans people can find dating difficult because we obviously knew there was there's a difference between your sexual identity and obviously your gender identity. But like, how have you found dating now?
Okay, like I said, I pass quite fluidly. I don't tell men it's not their right to know, it's mine. It's my secret. Like, you wouldn't tell them like I suffer from this or I suffer from that.
I do.
You do?
I have sickle cell and I tell
you tell them straight. Yeah, but what if it's not their right to know? You know?
I think it's mainly down to the fact that if I'm dating, it's usually with intent. So
that's dating. But I mean, just people that you first meet.
Oh, just people that you just come across?
Oh, yeah.
I don't just say, hey, Kedeisha, sickle cell.
Yeah,
I don't do that. I was talking about like, if I'm like getting into a relationship with somebody, I'm talking about.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, for me, it's different because
because something like that, sorry.
Questions are
the reason why I do tell them is because there's going to come a time where it's going to affect you too. So right now, it's my problem. I deal with it. It's my life. I don't have to share it with you until I'm comfortable. But if we're going to make this work and be together forever, there's going to come a time where it's going to affect you too, i.e. I need to know if you also have it, because then it's going to affect our children. I need to make sure that you don't have it. So it needs to be in the dialogue. So I think where I'm alluding to is when it does come to children, when it does come to the bedroom,
getting jiggy,
when it does come to genetics and that type thing. Do you know what I mean?
I have. And can I ask a question before you ask me? When you were...
You're going to forget.
Okay, go on.
I smoke. A lot.
Why do you think I was late? I'm joking.
Don't worry, God, I got you after this. Okay, this is why I'm back. Because of the fact that I've gotten away with it, I've literally slept in beds next to boys that I haven't known. Almost like... I know, and I thought I could die, and I was kicking myself too. But I've even slept with someone and not told them.
Wow.
How? Not because I'm out here trying to deceive. I'm just trying to live my own life.
Trying to live your life as a woman. Yeah.
Yes.
We don't have to.
It shouldn't be the forefront of everything I do and be like the main descriptor.
Yeah, you don't want that to define you.
It's like, hey, I'm a person, not hey, I'm trans, or I like men, or I like women. You know? But yes, if I was to date someone, I would obviously want to tell them. I'd want to share all parts of me. But I get approached so often by men. Like, I was going home the other day, a bit wonky from the night before, and then this guy followed me. You know, you're just there with your hood up, like, let me be, like, you know. And then all I see is him. You know when they're next to you and they're like...
Yeah, they're trying to look.
They're not even just trying to look. They're staring you in the eyes as you're walking.
And piercing your face.
And I gave him the most like ferried out response, like, no, I can't even human. And then kept walking. And the thing was, he came again. I see him again next to me, and I'm still like, I'm regaining my sense of me now. Okay. So I remember taking out my earphone and saying, are you talking to me or at me? And then like kept walking. And then he said something like, the last time I just remember seeing his dirty hand and him saying something about sitting on his face. And that was when I yeeted out and was like, I just want to go home to... No, like the thing I get a lot, even in the egotistical way. Men are just... There's something... Not even just men, I don't know, just... You know what I mean? But they always approach you at times or late night, and it's really annoying and disturbing and creepy. And you just want to sit on the bus and go home, and then they want to sit opposite you and stare, or sit next to you. You know, and you're just like, A, I liked breathing good air. Yeah. B, like, can you not talk to me, please? Yeah. Or when I don't mind foreign men approaching me and talking to me, but if you're going to say, hey, sexy, and then after that not know what to say. Come on.
Why is that the only English you know?
Yes, it's hello, sexy. I like you. You're pretty.
Because, you know, when you want to learn another language, like, for example, you're like, oh, you speak French. How'd you say fuck off? That's what they do. They're like, how'd you say sexy?
How I say sexy? Yes, you're very sexy. Can I number get?
Oh my God.
That reminds me.
Where from you?
Oh, that reminds me. I went to this comedy show once, and there was this guy, and he was saying like he goes gym, and he's like, it's always on a late night. You come back, obviously you want a kebab. That's what you do. You get, And he's obviously a big gym guy, and he's like, he sees the guy there, the Turkish guy sees him coming, and he's like, they don't have my best interests at heart. I'm trying to cut. I'm trying to stay slim. So they'll come over and they'll be like, you gym. And then he'll be like, if they're not going to engage in basic pronouns, I'm not even going to bother. And then in the end, they end up selling him the extra big kebab with extra chips and that. He's like, they don't care about me. They're just trying to make that up. They're trying to stroke him by being like gym, but they don't care.
No.
Yeah.
What I was going to ask you is, before your transition, how were you, like, orientation? Were you gay? Were you straight? Were you...
I knew I liked boys, but whenever anyone would call me gay, it would not sit right in my mind, because if I was to like a boy, it was the way a girl liked a boy. If I was to envision sex in my head, it was getting pounded in the pussy.
Yeah.
Boy.
And not that I knew what that was like till later on, but
Yeah.
when I felt, and then I always thought I had this mysterious power to turn boys gay, which seemed weird, but they were just responding unconsciously
To what you were putting out there.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to put anything out there. Trust me, I was just a Christian camp.
Oh my God.
They're just your vibes. Maybe it's just like everyone.
But they do say there's a lot of guys who are undercover.
Definitely.
But that's probably because a lot of guys do carry such feminine energy.
100%.
And it might not be that, what am I trying to say? It might not be that they like men. They just like the energy and the aura, but it just comes in that shell.
Like
Very
Ruby
well
Rose
put.
and Cara Delevingne, they've got like feminine and masculine energies, and I'm attracted.
Yeah.
Like I love men, but I've always said like I would be open to the idea of a girl. I would never say no.
Would it be
the
like a
types that I'm
stud
attracted to?
or like
not
a
a stud,
feminine?
but Ruby Rose. Like I know, Ruby Rose or Cara Delevingne.
You
when they're in a
disappointed
suit, it's
Kedeisha
so
there because
beautiful.
she loves studs. She's got a thing for studs, boy. She really does.
What does that mean?
Like girls who like have
Have a masculine
male.
look.
Yeah.
Like the lead singer of the internet.
Yeah.
Oh,
Or like the
her
girl
voice.
from Orange is the New Black.
Which one?
Yeah.
There's
Who
many
say?
girls.
Yeah, I
The
don't know.
bald,
Who say?
bald one.
Yeah.
Maybe. It's that vibe where they're
It
like,
is.
I don't know, but I've met boys,
Maybe it's
boys
because
in
it
a
looks
sense that have a
empowering.
similar vibe
Maybe.
where they're comfortable with both the feminine and
masculine,
masculine parts of them. And that just to me makes them like more of a complete human being.
I feel like it's more of the whole psychological thing of that everything that would go with that. Like if
You
they're
won't have
more
such a
like,
bad ego.
Because I know
Yeah,
that
like
I'm
someone that's just
attracted to masculinity. And whenever I'm like looking at somebody, that's what I'm drawn to in you. So like when they say, oh, looks don't matter, obviously you have to be attracted to that person as well. But it's about the way they carry themselves, the way that they speak, the way that they do things, the way that they handle certain situations, which is the energy that they give off. That's what
you like
in
in whatever package it comes.
I literally have a gay friend that doesn't like feminine gays. Like you
Oh,
get that.
yeah.
Oh, is it
Yeah,
too much of a stereotype?
Yeah, like
He wants you to be masculine.
He just likes the manly man. But I mean, so do I. But then, I don't know. You have to not put yourself into too much of a box.
Because the thing is, like, obviously with the research we've been doing as well, we've seen a lot of women who are now, men who are now women who are trying to date and really struggling with it. But a lot of men who are now, women who are now men who are having no problems.
That's interesting, because on the other end of the spectrum, I know female to male is so much more difficult. The transition is wow, and there's so much underdeveloped in the in the medical sector. Okay, they have to choose if they want it to like lift up or pump or something, and we're on our side, the male to female side, it's so advanced that we're now looking at like the vaginas are basically perfected almost.
Oh, wow.
And we're looking into almost being able to get pregnant with like a implanted uterus. But
so
on the other hand, on the other side, and as you can see, like in media and stuff, they're not given much portrayal. They're not given much representation. Like even with trans people, if you don't notice, all the like worst kinds of villains are trans. Like the person in Pretty Little Liars turned out to be trans, did they not?
I
You
didn't
just
watch
watched
that
that.
show.
Dropped a
I
big
didn't watch it either.
spoiler.
Oh, sorry.
But
Sorry,
it's over anyway, and it wasn't that good.
Thank you, even more. Good. I'm so glad I'm going to go home and watch it now. No, yeah. Okay, 100%. That's something I would never even know.
Yeah,
Originally.
that's really
never know.
Like,
that.
I think even in, what's the guy with the mask or something like
No,
that?
maybe not. I mean, like the medical advances. Like, we would never know that there's even a difference between the transition from male to female or female to male.
There's, oh my God. Like, I have a friend who he's the opposite side, and we're able to get on, I guess, because we're from the opposite sides. Whereas I feel like I was always told, oh, you should make more friends like you. And it's good. Like, I want to help them, but also at the same time, I don't want them to compare themselves to me or me to them, which could come across. And that is what we do that anyway with normal people. Like, if I do modeling, like I had a fashion week casting the other day, and I had to go in. There was a whole room full of models, like ones that I've seen in adverts, and like signed to huge agencies. But when I stepped in there, I thought, I'm unique. I've got something that only I can bring to the table that they don't have. And we are not that I'm above them or anything, but we're on different lanes. Yeah. Yes. And
we should be in competition with each other.
Yeah, no, there's no competition. Like the beauty that someone holds is unique to them.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that.
Very personal questions.
Yeah.
So please tell me to shut up if you want me to. Okay. When it comes to like anatomy,
yes,
how is that in terms of what is the process and how do you work with that?
Specify.
Being male before.
Yeah.
You had male parts.
Uh-huh.
And now.
Are you fully transitioned?
Yes.
Yes.
100,000%.
Okay. And is it extremely different to how you was before?
I'm more in tune with my body. No, it's not different. Literally, you find out that it's like being inside and out, inverted and not inverted.
Oh.
You do it like that, whatever.
Wow.
It's I have even more feeling than I had before, whereas it was numbness.
Oh, wow.
Numbness in a sense with people. Trans people, not that there's anything that happens, but we just don't really have feeling. In a sense, like we dissociate from that.
Yeah, because you don't want to be that.
You don't want to be that. You don't want to be reminded of it. You don't want anything to do with it. So for a long time, and now I'm even more in tune with my body. Like, I know when I'm going to get sick beforehand. 10 times more sensitive. Works better than before. Yeah. And it's perfect, I suppose, but that's just me.
Well, then if I was fully transitioned, I wouldn't tell anyone.
Yeah, the guys have told me. And it's the only note that I've got was I was the tightest they've ever had.
Wow.
Cross my legs.
Which is why I can't give it out freely.
Yeah,
definitely.
It's a gift, I suppose.
Yeah.
But you should think that too of yourselves.
Yeah.
Oh, I do, honey.
Don't you worry.
Good.
Good. Yeah, of course. Yeah, well, then in that sense,
it.
I think that like it's such a personal thing and you'd have to trust a person before because we're not talking about something so light. We're talking about an old
I could have died during surgery to get this, but I thought to myself, at least I'm going to die happy. Like, you know what I mean? At least I'll die with what I want or what I know. And then I have a friend who like almost got on to someone that was like me, but you could tell earlier on in their transition. And my friend had basically almost said like they wouldn't, in a sense, have accepted me had I been back there, but like they love me because I'm me and I'm
they met
this
you now.
And it's like that's a bit shit for you because you know what I mean. Like I could have met you ages ago when you were doing your drugs and said you looked bad, but just because someone's going through a certain phase and you can't see that's why I'm always thankful for the people who have said and they've been amazed by it. But people that have stuck since before to now and they're like, oh my God, Nikki, you've come so far, and I'm like, really? I mean, I kind of feel like, it's more of a physical change.
Yeah, but mentally you were always here.
Mentally, I've had a lot of growing to do, but I have grown, learning and growing. That's my thing. You live and you learn.
You can only be stronger from the things that you've been through. The more that you've been through, the more and you come through it, you come to so much stronger.
How did you decide your name?
Well, it was based upon the same letter of my previous name because I wanted to keep to that. And then I went through a whole list of names of what could feel right and what did. And then I'd used a name like on some game called Second Life, like Nikki Pixel Made. And I kind of like that name. And then my middle name is Cindy after my mum, whose middle name is Cindy, but Nikita. I don't know. I just chose it, and now everyone loves it. And they
Did you
sing
feel
my
like
name.
you had it, and you're like, this is it, like this is the one? Or
no, I had to go through
like,
my friends, like, guys, what do I choose? I could have been called Nala, and they were like, no.
That's so weird. Like it's like a reinvention of yourself, I guess.
I love it. I get to choose who I want to be. Like, your name is something that's like kind of interpersonal. I've known people who've changed their names because it's something that your parents have given to you. Just like life, like I didn't ask to be born. I didn't ask to be named either.
Preach.
And how we all... You have like kind of your full name, but you've got the name that your friends will call you, like
nicknames and stuff.
Exactly, but that's what you prefer to be called. Or I feel like we've all got those names, and then in a sense, kind of like a true name that we really, really know as ours.
Yeah. Is there elements of your old life that you miss?
No, not even. No, but it's more to do with when you were younger, like when I didn't know and the world was a carefree place. That kind of place that I miss, but no.
But then in a way, everyone could say that because when you're young, no one has problems.
Yeah, you don't
in general
perceive
you know what I mean?
Any problems or to do with gender or that, or just kind of. I just knew that I liked feminine things, I suppose.
How do you feel about, like, because it's another thing we spoke about in our last episode, about when a person does transition, they get a new birth certificate and that kind of stuff. And we were just thinking, like, should it be like that? Or okay.
It should, because for the longest time, and I still haven't renewed my passport. Sorry, people. But like, I would bring my passport and they'd go, "This isn't you." And
How long you got?
It's my little dead twin brother.
Yeah. Oh my god.
But what's the question again?
About, do you miss elements of your old life? And then the passport, like the birth certificate thing, should you get a new birth certificate?
Yeah, you should, because...
So the reason why I was bringing that up is because I said, because that birth certificate replaces your old one.
Yeah.
I was saying that you should get a new one.
You do.
As in, that it doesn't replace the old one. It's just a new one. So like...
You don't rewrite history,
like,
basically.
I think you should be allowed to, because what if your parents don't accept you? You don't want anything to do with them,
that
kind of
could
thing.
have problems.
What's that got to do with your parents?
Because like if you have a passport that's like...
No, you get a new birth certificate that takes effect of the day that it's issued to you.
Yeah.
But like, you still got your old birth certificate, because I was saying that so if you, let's say you didn't transition until you was 19, you still had 19 years of life that birth certificate belongs to. And then when you transition at 19...
I mean, it just really depends on how it goes with your family, if you want ties.
And when they give you the birth certificate, because this is what I was thinking as well, they put your actual date of birth on it, but you don't change to that person until the day they give you the certificate, right?
I don't know. I was handed, there's like a huge, gender recognition certificate.
So it's not a birth certificate?
I got a gender recognition certificate, but I think you do... I'm not too sure. You can order for a new passport. I think you can get a new birth certificate.
Oh, so it's only on
I didn't get... I don't know. I don't know these things. Because
it makes sense that you get a gender recognition one.
Yeah.
Because this is a change. Like,
and then you get like...
Yeah. But I was just saying it's a bit odd to me to rewrite your old birth certificate, because if you was to like go back and look at your school books and stuff, that person, you can't wipe that person from the face of the earth because they still live.
But
some people don't want any memory of that. They want to continue in the new, like me.
But what if your children wanted to do ancestry?
You can still find that person, I suppose. The DNA will be there. It's just you can change the name, or you can search for the old name. Like my name was changed when I was younger. My dad's name got taken out of my name, so I'd have to change my name like several times to find out who that was. But to be honest, I don't think people are thinking, like, they don't think about future in a sense. They just kind of want to live to the next day, so they're not thinking if my kids are going to look up ancestry. It's more like, I can't have kids, you know, or like these decisions. Oh, can I even leave the house? Do I even like look feminine enough to even go out
and pass?
Yeah, that's
do you know
a
what
huge
thought
thing.
was just coming to me now? Very random, but if there was a female that was like of age, already been through puberty, could she freeze her eggs and then use them for her child? So if there's a male to female, could he freeze his sperm?
Yeah. I've known
and
a
then
friend
make a baby
who had a kid before and is transitioning now. But he's had like kidney and liver failure problems. Shout out to Andy, I love you. But and he's had his kid no more. But yeah, you could do that. You could, whatever side you're on, but you kind of need to be rich or just making money enough to.
Yeah.
And this is why in England, we are like 10 times lucky, because in America, I feel so sad for what the things like the girls out there will have to do to even attain hormones or things like that, because the government, it seems like, is against them. Whereas here, yeah, you can have surgery. I mean, it feels like it is against us, because there's certain surgeries, like facial feminization surgery is not one of the core procedures. And I think that's freaking stupid.
Yeah. Did you have that?
No, I didn't. Not yet, but I want to. I guess because I'm lucky. I know they're all like, you don't need it, blah, blah, blah. But it's not about what other people want.
Yeah, for sure.
Like our friends who want boob jobs. I may not like their boobs, but they want to change it. So it's not for me to give my opinion. Just like there's certain subjects that I won't talk upon because I don't have enough knowledge to form a proper opinion.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, cool. We've sort of got to round up, but this has been so helpful. Thank you so much.
Do you have any other questions?
I'm trying to think. I feel like we've bombarded you with a million questions.
You've been great though. Yeah. Everyone we've got, you're like, bam, bam,
No,
bam.
I feel like I'm actually like waffling with most of them. I'm trying to keep to a good topic and like on point.
Yeah,
but if there's any questions, like any of you have.
Does anybody just like approach you on the street and ask you anything?
No. Maybe like before I might transition, but no, it's mostly just creepy men.
I
or
remember,
women in toilets saying that I look beautiful, or lesbians trying to chat me up, but they don't know.
I remember reading that like a lot of trans people struggle with like public transport and stuff like that, because that's when you can get a lot of the harassment. Do you get worried about going on the tube and stuff like that?
This one time my makeup was off key and I was just going to get some Rizzas, like some long skins from Bricks, and this guy looked at me dead in the eyes and shouted disgusting in my face. I've had people threatened to shoot me. When I lived in the hostels, people threatened to bomb my door.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I got moved from one hostel to the other because of hate crime directed
It's
at me.
interesting you say that, because in our episode we spoke about like the statistics of how many trans people become homeless, and then we were saying why would that be connection, and then obviously together we were like, obviously you're probably kicked out of your home by family, work might not accept you.
It's silly because how does my personal choice affect your life so much, you know, like
people could just be filled with so much hatred that they just feel the need to put people down.
It's because they fear what they don't understand.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, 100%.
How do you feel about like the whole LGBTQ?
I was about to ask that. Plus.
I don't remember.
All the letters. How do you feel about the whole movement of it?
I feel like the movement is good. It's just confusing. Even for me, it's confusing because if someone comes out with I am tri, femme, anti this, pansexual, I'm like, okay, that's cool. I can't keep up. Like, I support you, but I can't keep up.
Do you, boo?
Yeah, do you. That's what I mean. What I say is I don't mind what you do, what you preach, as long as you're not hurting anyone or forcing things on anyone, you know, like preach what you want, worship who you want, as long as you're not harming anyone. Or like literally we're just like trans people are just living their lives, just trying to get on the train and be normal. And then it's like I do take offense, like you guys were saying, when people cough and stuff. I will literally wince. I'll hold I'll do the most, guys, you don't understand. But like I don't understand. It just boggles me that you'd see someone and suddenly they annoy you or whatever.
Their existence upsets you so much.
Upsets you so much they have to like throw. I've got like a glass, whatever, thrown at my head, etc. Things like that have happened, and they just